It's Thursday, November 30th, and this is your coffee break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski with the latest local news, including another car reported stolen in Ridgefield, a Greenwich school social worker arrested, and much more. Frank Grito has your forecast, and later on a Nutmeg Sports update. Donald Lang will also join us to take a look back on this day in history, and later on we preview our front pages this week. But first, in Ridgefield, a car was stolen from the driveway of a Barrack Hill Road home in the early morning hours of Monday, November 27th. Now, according to Ridgefield Police Captain Jeff Kreitz, that car was stolen sometime between 2:40 a.m. and 3:15 a.m. Now, that car, a 2013 Audi S5, was later recovered that same day around 4:30 by the side of Route 8 in Waterbury with a flat tire and a damaged rim. Now, the owner of that vehicle, 21-year-old Casey Kritzman, told the press that he was surprised the thieves had managed to steal the car without him waking up. Kritzman, who reported the theft to police around 8:30 a.m., noted that the car had an aftermarket exhaust, which would have made starting the car very noticeable. Now, the car owner also told the press that police mentioned that the theft matched the method of operation of a Waterbury group that have stolen cars throughout Fairfield County. Now, he said the cost of the damage to the car totaled over $10,000. And in other news, the Connecticut Post reports a female gunshot wound victim that showed up at a city hospital Wednesday evening has been moved to the emergency trauma division about an hour after she arrived. Now, that victim showed up at Bridgeport Hospital, according to police spokesman Ave Harris. The Connecticut Post reports that dispatch reports indicated she had arrived there at around 7:50 at night. Officers responded to the hospital shortly before 8 p.m. after they were contacted by the Bridgeport Hospital about a gunshot wound victim being treated in the emergency room. Now, Harris was unable to provide any further information regarding the victim's condition on Wednesday evening. Initially, police were sent to canvass the area of Stratford Avenue and Hollister Avenue for shell casings. But around 8:45, that location was changed to the area of Hollister Avenue and Connecticut Avenue. Now, Harris could not confirm the suspected location. The victim told police that she was sitting in her car in front of a store in the area when a vehicle drove by and started shooting. And a West Haven man was charged with evading responsibility in Milford November 29th after police said he hit a motorcyclist with his car and then fled the scene. Now, police say 20-year-old Gordon Farrell of Burwell Road in West Haven was followed by a witness after striking that motorcycle rider on Bridgeport Avenue near Avery Avenue at around 3:10 in the afternoon. Now, Milford police responded to the scene, but Farrell had left. A witness, however, followed Farrell's car and called the Milford Police Department and told them to go to a Carlson Avenue residence where Farrell had taken his vehicle. Now, he was charged with failure to grant the right-of-way and evading responsibility. His bond was set at $500 for a December 28th court appearance. That motorcyclist was transported to the hospital for minor injuries. And in other news, a social worker for Greenwich schools has been accused of sexually assaulting a woman during a therapy session at his Stamford office. Now, the Greenwich Time reports that 47-year-old Alexander Pino of Stamford was charged Wednesday with second-degree assault and is being held in lieu of a $150,000 court appearance bond. Now, Stamford Police Sergeant Chris Bromes, the lead investigator of the case, said this incident occurred in 2013 at Pino's West Main Street office. Now, Bromes said the woman, who is in her mid-40s, reported the incident to police last month. Now, the physical and mental stress of carrying this inside her was too much, according to police, and everyone who knew her said so and decided she decided she needed to open up about it. Now, Stamford and Greenwich police arrested Pino, a licensed clinical social worker at a Greenwich school, on Wednesday. And a Trumbull man was arrested twice on the same day in connection with a domestic incident November 27th. Police said they received a call of a domestic incident and arrived to find that a father and son had apparently argued but found no evidence of violence. Well, after the two men agreed to stay away from each other for the rest of the day, officers left the scene only to be called back a little while later. This time, the son said his father had chased him into the basement and threatened to kill him. Now, the 54-year-old was charged with disorderly conduct and second-degree threatening and released on a $2,500 bond for court later that day with a condition he not return to the home. However, after police released him, he allegedly did return to the house. Police located him at his court appointment and served him an additional charge of violating the conditions of release. Bond was set at $2,000 for court the following day on that additional charge. And a state police canine helped locate an elderly man lost in the woods Monday night. Now, this happened around 6:30 p.m. in Scotland, Connecticut. Police say an 80-year-old man was overdue from a walk in the woods. Troopers became concerned that the male had gotten lost and may have been suffering from a medical condition. Now, Canine Luca, a patrol canine assigned to Trooper Pawlowski, was deployed to conduct a track for that missing male. Well, Luca tracked approximately 1 mile into the woods near a river and found that man who was yelling for help. Troopers then escorted the male out of the woods and he was transported to a nearby hospital where he was treated and later released. All right, switching gears now, going to take a look at your forecast with Frank Granito. Frank.
All right, thank you, Kate. And we're looking at mostly sunny skies right now. Cooler temperatures sitting in the low 40s. They could reach up to about a high of 48 at the midway point of the day. We'll see a light breeze around 10 miles per hour through the afternoon. Increasing cloud cover coming later on this evening. It will be cloudy overnight, and there's a chance of a passing shower or two with a low of 44 before Friday. Plenty of sunshine around the county on Friday with a high of 51 degrees. We'll see mostly clear skies overnight tomorrow, a low of 32 as things get a little cooler before Saturday. And then on Saturday, we will have some sunshine, but it's through high cloud cover, a high of 45 as it's a little breezier with wind gusts around 15 miles per hour. Clear skies overnight, again cooler with temperatures falling down into the mid-30s before a partly sunny Sunday to wrap up the weekend. That's going to do it for this weather update. Let's go back over to Kate.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. Well, we're going to step out for a break. When we come back, Donald Eng joins us to take a look back on this day in history. Frank has your Nutmeg Sports Update, and we have more local news after this.
New Canaan Foreign Car. Yes, New Canaan Foreign Car has been servicing all makes of foreign cars for over 50 years. We also buy, sell, and consign cars too. We can help you with all your automotive needs from service to sales. Call us at 203-966-2681.
At Portofino Restaurant and Wine Bar in Bethel, fresh and simple food is our concept. Owned and operated by brothers Rocco and Louie, Portofino has a distinct and diverse food and drink menu. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come join us for live local music on Tuesdays and Sundays, Wednesday nights for mouthwatering prime rib, and every Thursday night is ladies' night. Planning a party? All our catering menus are personalized to suit your event and your budget. Join us at the Dolan Plaza, 213 Greenwood Ave, Bethel, and call us at 203-797-8131. Like us on Facebook.
Welcome back to this November 30th edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. We're going to throw it over to Donald Eng now to get a look back on this day in history. Don.
Well, Kate, it's a time of year when companies are hiring seasonal employees, and one of those companies took down a giant about a decade or so ago. First, we go to 1954 in Sayuca, Alabama. Elizabeth Hodges is taking a nap on her couch when a meteorite crashes through the roof of her home and hits her. The 8.5-pound rock. Where is it? Oh, here it is.
Here I am. Okay. No, that is you're looking at Elizabeth Hodges, who was injured when an 8.5-pound meteorite crashed through her home and struck her on the side there. She was taking a nap on her couch. The meteorite actually made a fireball as it tore through the atmosphere. Luckily, the atmosphere and, her house slowed it enough that she was able to survive the impact with just a bruise. She remains the only person ever actually hit by a meteorite. 1982, Michael Jackson's sixth album, Thriller, released worldwide. It would go on to become the best-selling album in history. Estimated sales, about 66 million copies. The album also won 8 Grammys, and it spawned 7 top 10 Billboard singles. 1998 now, Exxon and Mobil signed a $73.7 billion agreement to merge, thus creating Exxon Mobil, the world's largest company. Those two CEOs there are looking very happy, which I'm going to assume is not because it was a great deal for us consumers. ExxonMobil currently has 74,000 employees, generates $218 billion in annual revenues. Finally, now we go to 2004, a memorable time for trivia buffs for this.
Nancy, you wrote down your response rather quickly, I thought. I hope it's correct. Let's take a look.
So too.
What is H&R Block? You're right. Your wager, 4,401, taking you up to 14,401. You have a $1 lead over Ken Jennings right now. And his final response was FedEx. His wager was 5601. He winds up in second place with $87.99. And Nancy Zerg, congratulations, you are indeed a giant killer. Our new Jeopardy champion, 14,401.
That was software engineer Ken Jennings, who on this date saw his record 74-game Jeopardy winning streak end when he couldn't name a business with 70,000 seasonal white-collar employees, most of whom only work 4 months a year. Since his streak, Jennings has become an author and blogger. He also landed endorsement gigs for both FedEx and H&R Block. So there was that. That is your look back in history for today, November 30th. I'm Donald Lang.
All right, thanks so much, Don. Well, in other local news, Connecticut's state budget crisis has halted progress on the redevelopment of Darien's senior affordable housing community, Old Town Hall houses. Now, during a briefing with the Board of Selectmen on Monday, Darien Housing Authority Chairman Joe Warren said the project is awaiting a response to its application for public funding, which was submitted back in June. Now, the state government operated for more than 120 days without a budget before approving a budget on October 31st. However, while funding is now in place for public initiatives like affordable housing, the state is facing a backlog of applications as it begins dispersing grants. Now, prior to the state's extended budgetless period, the Darien Housing Authority had hoped to begin the process of relocating the senior residents of Old Town Hall houses and demolishing the existing complex by the end of this year. Well, the Housing Authority's duty is to provide and maintain affordable housing in Darien, overseeing the Heights at Allen O'Neill Drive and the Old Town Hall houses. But without word from the state, both the Old Town Hall houses residents and the DHA have been left without a timeline for action. But there's more on that story at DarienTimes.com. And the Monroe community is rallying around a brain cancer survivor and longtime police officer looking to be reinstated to the department. Now, signs can be seen throughout town calling for Andrew Wall to be reinstated, and an online petition has gathered some 8,000 signatures of support for that longtime Monroe police officer. A GoFundMe page was created back in September to aid with his financial needs. Now, these moves are the latest by Wall and his family and friends as the 22-year department veteran attempts to gain reinstatement to the department after surviving a particularly virulent form of brain cancer, glioblastoma. Now, with just more than 2 years until retirement, Wall, realizing the department did not want him back, offered to pay 1/3, some $10,000 in cash, of the cost the town would need to bridge the gap to retirement for the officer, an idea which was rejected. Now, Police Chief John Salvatore, in a written statement provided to the Monroe Courier, said that Wall is receiving disability payments, retains medical coverage through the town, and remains a member of the police department. Well, the grievance filed on Wall's behalf by the police union goes before the State Labor Board in February, and the Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities will meet on Wall's case in January to determine if discrimination has occurred. And if he is unhappy, Wall said, with those rulings, his only other alternative would be to take legal action against the town. But there's a lot more on that story at MonroeCourier.com. And the Trumbull Agri-Science and Biotechnology Center on Daniels Farm Road will hold their holiday boutique and plant sale this Saturday, December 2nd and Sunday, December 3rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for all your holiday shopping needs. Now, there will be up to 20 artisans, handcrafters, and vendors to help you cross those names off your holiday shopping list. You can get a lot more details on the sale at TrumbullTimes.com. All right, we're going to throw it back to Frank Granito now for your Nutmeg Sports Update. Frank.
All right, Kate, we want to offer congratulations to the Connecticut Boat Club racing out of Norwalk. They were at the San Diego Fall Classic Regatta Championships held in Mission Bay, California in San Diego. They were the only East Coast team racing and competing in the CBC in the Women's Junior First for Varsity. They took home gold. It was Cece Schall, Catherine Garrett, Olivia Luther, and Kat Kern with Julia Abruzzese. Congratulations, girls. Great job. Don't forget now, Sunday, the semifinals in Connecticut Football State Championships. New Canaan, Darien, Greenwich, St. Joe's, 4 FCX schools still remaining. All those games being played. 12:30, Greenwich and Darien are at home. St. Joe's hosting at Trumbull, and New Canaan travels to Massac. We'll have more on those games at 2 o'clock on Nutmeg Sports. Kevin Coleman and I will also be joined by New Canaan captain Jake Ciancio, talking about the number 8 Rams win over number 1 Middletown. And in case you hadn't heard, Kate, Tigers back in 45 minutes. For now, though, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Frank. We're going to step out for a break. When we come back, John Kovach joins me to preview our front pages this week after this.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? No aggravation, no confrontation, just answers to all your questions. Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Car buying the way you want it to be. With one of the largest selections of new 2- and 4-door Jeep Wranglers available, we are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Located in Fairfield, Connecticut, we're easy to get to. Just 2.5 miles off the Merritt Parkway, exit 44 via Route 58 South. Save thousands right now at the Black Friday sales event. Ends November 30th.
At Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more.
The Kitchen Center offers quality cabinetry and affordable pricing. Visit our showroom for a free consultation with our professional design staff. For all your other home improvement needs, visit Northeast Building Supply, our full-service lumberyard and window showroom. The Kitchen Center, a division of Northeast Building Supply, 1470 Barnum Avenue, Bridgeport.
Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today.
Welcome back to this Thursday edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, joined now by John Kovach to preview our front pages this week. John, what are you looking at first?
Looking at a trip back in time in the Reading Pilot, where town historian Charlie Couch led a group of youngsters in a tour of what life was like in the 18th century. Story we're going to see in a lot of our papers, and that's on local businesses with the holiday time coming. How important it is to shop local. Gifted and talented teacher among those honored. More than 1,300 runners at the annual Thanksgiving Day race. New elected officers being sworn in at Reading's holiday tree lighting Saturday.
All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Easton Courier. Connecticut Teacher of the Year honors given out to local teachers. The Easton, Reading, and Region 9 teachers there honored. Also, a parking plan approved for Trout Brook Valley, places where hikers can park there. A story on protecting the environment in the Trump era. SD calls on people to do more at the local level, and a feature on a young Easton dancer pursuing her dream at the Washington School of Ballet.
The Milford Mirror takes a look at what it takes to sign up for Access Health as that deadline nears. Jonathan Law High School has had its accreditation renewed. More traffic details are needed for an application for housing on Meadowside Road, which residents are opposed to, and a sign of the Christmas season, Toys for Tots getting underway in Milford.
All right, well, I'm looking at the Shelton Herald this week, a story we talked about on Coffee Break yesterday, and that's this library delivery van just completely destroyed. It went up in flames. Thankfully, no one was injured, but they are now looking for another vehicle to use for those homebound library delivery services. Also, a man survives being thrown from a bridge early Thanksgiving morning. He has been released from the hospital, but that incident is still under investigation. There was apparently a fight on the Derby-Shelton Bridge. Now, Shelton sending 5 robotics teams to state championships. Shelton has a long history of just having amazing robotics teams that do very well. The Gales also trumping Derby, but fall short in the state playoffs, and elected officials sworn in recently.
In Monroe, elected officials were also sworn in after the new election, including Ken Kellogg, the new first selectman. A cell tower could be coming to town, that behind the EMS building on Jockey Hollow Road. Story you just brought us on Coffee Break, friends and family rallying around a police officer surviving brain cancer, and holiday traditions with decorating of town buildings around town and holiday tree lightings.
All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Trumbull Times, and the big story in Trumbull recently was that the Trumbull Eagle, Golden Eagle Marching Band, was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. So very exciting for them. So more on their experience. Also, officials to be sworn in Monday. That includes a new first selectman in Trumbull, Vicky Tesoro. Also, Hillcrest reaching its golden anniversary, its 50th anniversary celebration happening there.
News about the prior first selectman in New Canaan, where Rob Malazzi is joining Bankwell. Story that we've talked about on several shows, the arrest of Darien football players in an incident in New Canaan, and subsequently New Canaan winning the Turkey Bowl. Grace Farms submitting new applications, and a man arrested for offering a 17-year-old $2,000 for sex.
All right, taking a look at the Darien Times, obviously that football story of the players being arrested on Turkey Bowl Eve, also a big story there. And we also have a photo of quarterback Jack Joyce, who was back Tuesday. Board of Ed projections foreshadowing the budget there. Also, redevelopment story we just talked about, redevelopment halted by state funding issues. And you know what, a nice photo of the start of the Christmas season in Rowayton.
In Stratford, a suspect's been arrested in the robbery and shooting on Main Street in downtown Stratford. The WPCA will have some changes possible in its makeup and the holiday tree lighting.
All right, well, I'm taking a look at the Wilton Bulletin. A commission denying the moratorium on AROD, is that? AROD. Age-restricted development. I knew that's what it stood for, but I couldn't. All right. So a moratorium denied on that. GOP tax plan also viewed with some suspicion. Wreaths bringing holiday cheer, and an author recalling his famous great aunt, Julia Child, in a new book.
Selectmen in Weston discussing initiatives, and the school board electing a new chairman, all the changes after the election. Some birds taking flight after being nursed back to health, and the Aspetuck Land Trust buying 38 acres to be kept as open space.
All right, well, taking a look at the Ridgefield Press this week, Santa arriving in a fire truck at a recent celebration. Now, the stroll will once again roll this weekend. That's such a great event in Ridgefield. Definitely worth checking out. It's Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, another swastika found at the high school, prompting a program for town officials and a concern at Ridgefield High School, and that's vaping. A lot of talk about that recently.
And our Arts and Leisure takes a look at the 10th anniversary of the Loft Artists Association.
All right, so those are our front pages this week. But John, you have Yankee Fisherman coming up later today.
We went up to the Deerfield River in Massachusetts to find out if wild trout are spawning there.
All right.
We're not going to tell you.
Oh, very cool. All right, that's 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock Nutmeg Sports. Be sure to check it out. We're going to wrap things up here on your coffee break, but we'll see you next time.